Hi, I'm Trevor Cook, and in my group is Madison Amsbury, Chris Belisle, and Ashley Whitaker. And we taught at the continuation school of Whitcomb. At Whitcomb High School, it's a lot of kids who fell behind in units at their normal high school or are there because of bad behavior. And as a result, a lot of these kids are demotivated and they don't necessarily see the potential in themselves. So it was really rewarding for us to go into the classroom and kind of point out their strengths and just give them some direction as to what they want to do later in life.
So we had two group dynamic theories, one of which was cohesiveness and the other one which was diversity. So for cohesiveness, our group was pretty cohesive. We all got along pretty well, pretty easily. We had a lot of similar goals, similar norms, similar backgrounds, so that helped out with our cohesiveness and helped us kind of mesh together a little bit better. As far as I knew, none of us really knew each other going into this project very well, so given that fact, we all kind of meshed together really, really easily, considering. And then so as far as diversity, we were also a little diverse, and this kind of ties in with cohesiveness because we all had a lot of similar viewpoints, but the ways that we got to what our viewpoints were different. So our diversity came from our means, but not really the ends. So this helped our goals out as well because it opened our minds and we each got to see different perspectives from different people, and that helped out a lot. And then, so as far as positive and negative forces for our group, there weren't really any negatives with our group. I thought we were all pretty good the whole time. As far as positives though, like I said, we all had common goals. We all were trying to get the same message across, and we all had similar ways of doing so. So when we split up into groups to talk to the students separately, we all were talking to them about the same thing and a lot of similar stuff, despite the fact that we were separated, but we still got the same message across. Another thing that helped was the explicit roles that we had to set each week. It gave us each a chance to see what it was like to be in a different person's shoes. So once we each experienced every role, we were able to help each other out a lot better. And it was a lot easier for us to just give advice to someone who was having trouble with one of the roles that they might not have done before. And then finally, for our norms, beliefs, and values, a big part of what allowed our group to work well together was the fact that we had so many similarities. This is kind of helped by the fact that we all go to APU, so a lot of similar values, Christianity and ethics and all that stuff, which is what we were teaching about during our class time. A lot of our norms were the same as well. We agreed on the ethical issues. There wasn't really any disparity between our teaching groups, so there wasn't one person saying one thing with another person saying a completely different thing. And because of this, our group in itself, there wasn't really any dissension, and everyone basically agreed with everything. No one tried to fight with someone about a certain issue, and it all kind of just worked out pretty well the first time around, and we didn't have a lot of arguments to take care of, which was nice, but we still had discussion that helped us progress and boosted our effectivity and efficiency.
In general, our team followed the rational decision-making model. First, we would define any problems, then we would identify any needs or changes that we wanted to make. After that, we would go through and discuss any options or alternatives, and then usually we would select the best one after collaboration and making the best decision for our team and for our classroom. I think we made decisions quite effectively as a group, so we really didn't face any disadvantages. We were always very straightforward about what needed to be changed and made the most effective decisions in regards to that. So with advantages, we were very fast in decision making, and bringing issues to light allowed us to discuss alternatives effectively and make the best changes for our group. For communication methods and styles, primarily we had face-to-face communication. We had weekly meetings to plan out the lessons and had a lot of just group collaboration. For more logistical things, we would use our group text, and we use that quite often just for rides for the school, different meeting times, things like that, or reminders. But like I said, overall it was face-to-face communication. One last communication method was our Google Doc. During our group meetings together in person, we would create a Google Doc for reference to outline the lesson, and maybe throughout the week we could add different things and make changes, and that allowed us to communicate effectively. Overall, our style was very direct and straightforward. We were all very open and honest about different ideas and communicated very effectively with each other. No one was afraid to say what they wanted to do, and we collaborated very well as a team. So overall, we were very effective. With our weekly group meetings, it allowed us to plan a lesson very effectively and discuss all of our options and make any changes that were needed. We always communicated very well with one another, and there was never issues with that. Overall, decision making made us a very effective and efficient team. We were never afraid to change our approach or make improvements. Since we communicated so effectively, we were able to make very effective decisions, and it also allowed us to make improvements for the next lesson and empower our effectiveness in the classroom.
When looking at leadership, there are different types of leadership styles. There's autocratic leaders, service leaders, and there's followers. And understanding the type of leaders that were within our group helped us sing together as a team and become more effective. Some of us were more vocal than others, while other of us took on more supportive roles. But together as a group, we took on the transformational leadership approach. When we went into teaching the kids, we wanted to change the kids' mindset rather than teaching just basic material from the textbook. The most natural leader out of all of us was Madison, as she helped facilitate and kind of guide our discussions and when we're formulating course material. But we were all able to take some type of leadership role during this process. We all learned how to lead in a way that best fits our personality type.
APU's 4 cornerstones are Christ, scholarship, community, and service. The first cornerstone is Christ, and this is the way that we share God's love to people. And Christ, an example that we could be is that Christ shared his love to people that didn't really accept him. The next cornerstone is scholarship, and this explains the content that we share towards the students. And this is the quality and standards of APU that we give to the students to take with their lives. The next cornerstone is community, and this is a big component as well because we get to learn from their lifestyle and we get to learn the different ideas and visions that they have. The next and last cornerstone would be service, and this is a very important one because Christ came to serve and not be served, and service is one of the ways that we show that we care for people.
Our group strategies were also very effective. First, we would go through the lesson plan as a group, and then we would decide which sections we really wanted to focus on. Afterwards, we would make any modifications to make it most effective for our students, and then we would teach the lesson with as much engagement as possible. After the lesson, we would discuss our effectiveness as a group and discuss any possible changes we wanted to make for the next week. Overall, our strengths were just our thoroughness with the teaching. We taught in a very engaging way and worked hard to make it really fun for the students and to get them involved. While I don't think we had any strong weaknesses because we were very effective, one thing we could have worked on is maybe changing it up a little bit because it did become a little routine. While we were very strong and effective overall, there are specific courses of action that we could take to improve our performance. As a team, we could have spent a little more time discussing how to reach the least engaged students more effectively. While we did the very best we could have maybe developed a little more strategy and alternative ways to reach them. With managing the project, we could have also spent more time maybe reading the lesson plan and making any changes to make it further relatable to the students. While we are effective overall, there's always room for improvement. And in the field, applying those ways to reach the very disengaged students. We had some students who really loved their headphones and didn't really want to be there, so we could have worked just harder to reach them further. But overall, we worked very effective as a team, engaged the students, and made a difference in some of their lives.